Sobar kitchen. My name's Pete. Welcome to anyone from Refugee roots. It's great to have you here. Hope you're all doing good during this difficult time. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple, very nutritious, inexpensive dish, a Chana Masala, which is an Indian dish. And there's some ingredients I've got here. It's all stuff that some of you might have already in your dry stores, or if not, you know, you might be able to access it. You should be able to access it very easily from your local shops, supermarkets, whatever. It's a vegan dish. It's very simple to make. It's very high in nutritional value. Chickpeas are a great source of protein and also of fibre. I've opened those cans. I've drained them off, washed them. We've also got some tomato passata, got 1 onion, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of garam masala. We've got 1 teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. I've got a little bit of salt, table salt, but you can use rock salt or sea salt, whatever you've got. I've got 1 clove of fresh garlic. I've got a small piece of fresh ginger, and I'm going to make a little paste out of those. I'll show you in a moment how to do that. I've got some vegetable oil, but you can use any oil that you've got really. I've got some green chili, 2 green chilies that we actually had in our freezer at Sobar. We froze those just before the last lockdown, so I'm going to make use of those today. I've got some spring onions. I'm going to use a couple of those for garnish. I've got a bunch of fresh coriander. I'm going to chop that towards the end and just add that at the end of the dish. I'm also going to use that for garnish as well. I've got a lemon. I'm going to use half of that just at the end to lift the whole dish. And I've got some lime, which is nice for, again, for garnish, because I like citrus with my Indian food. And I think it just really brings all the flavours to life, especially when you've got something like this, which is a vegan dish. It's nice to kind of keep all the flavours very light and vibrant, which really adds to this particular dish. So that's my ingredients. I'm going to show you now how to prepare and chop what is needed, and then we can move on to the cooking. Take the top of the onion off, and then I'm going to trim the root, but I want to keep the root on for when we do, because that helps to hold the onion together. So there we go. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to peel off the skin. There we go. Go. There, side as well. So put that there for a sec. So, I mean, you can do this however you want, but I'm just going to do it how I was taught to do it, which is just carefully slicing through. This side as well. And just cross through like that. And then one more. Same with this one. Slicing towards the root. And then just down. Now you don't have to worry about it being too sort of uniform for this dish, and you can always run your knife through it again, which I'm going to do. run your knife through. So I'm just going to put this in this bowl, and then that's our onion. That's our onion ready. That's that. Stick that over here. And now I'm going to clean my board off. Okay, so I'm going to chop the chilies now. I'm going to chop all the chili together. I'm going to leave the seeds in. The seeds will add a lot of more heat to any dish. So if you don't, if you're not keen on heat or lots of chili, you can either remove the seeds or you can just add less. You know, you could put the whole one chili in, or you could put half a whole chili in, or if you like it really spicy, you could add another chili. You could have 3 chilies, 4 chilies. It's totally up to you. It's just this is how I'm going to do it now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is simply just remove the stalks like that. Put those in my little bin there, and then I'm just going to chop through from tail to tip, like so. Just being very careful. Like I was saying, you know, if I was going to remove the seeds, I would cut the chili lengthways, as so. And then I would scrape the seeds out, as so, like that. And then I would just use the flesh of the chili. Because the seeds, like I was saying, they carry a lot of heat. But I'm going to keep the seeds in for this particular run through. So I'm going to chop them all together, as so. The flesh of this chili is very soft because it's been frozen, but it won't take away from the flavour. And then I'm going to, like I did with the onion, I'm just going to keep running my knife through. What you can do, because you don't have to have great knife skills or any knife skills to be able to make this dish. What you can do is just get the chilies, take off the stalks, put them in a blender, add maybe a little bit of water, and then just blend them down, seeds and everything. And then you've got a puree that will last in the fridge for several days, and then you can use it as and when, you know. So that's another way of doing it. And I've chopped it on this occasion. So there we go, that's our chilies. Pretty much there. Back onto my little side plate. And it's always probably important to remember that once you've been handling a strong flavour like chili, is wash your hands and don't touch your eyes, because it can be quite painful if you do. And also clean your board or flip it over. There we go. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I've got some ginger here, fresh ginger, and I've got a clove of garlic. I want to make like a little garlic and ginger paste. So I'm going to mix these together, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel with a little paring knife. I'm just going to peel this ginger, and there we go. Peel it down. You can use you could use a peeler if you don't have a little knife, or you could leave the skin on if you wanted to. It's not essential. I I just prefer to take the skin off. I think it helps to release the flavour a little bit better. So with my chef's knife, my cook's knife, I'm just going to chop this down. Careful, just do like that. Again. Then with my garlic, I'm just going to very carefully nip the end off the garlic, the root, rid of that, and then cut through the middle. So I'm just going to chop through the garlic. Again, turning it on the side. Careful, careful, careful. I'm going to chop that together with the ginger, make it one sort of homogeneous little mix. One of the things I really enjoy about chopping ingredients like this is the smells you get. It's fantastic. And then once he gets to a certain fineness of chopping, I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Over the top, and this will also help season the final dish. And then with the edge of my knife, I'm just going to the garlic and ginger together, and that's like a paste we've made there, like a very simple, quick paste. Almost looks translucent on the board. There you go. You see there the garlic and ginger paste. Okay, we're almost ready to cook. Okay, so moving on to the cooking of the Chana Masala. I've got all my ingredients prepped and ready to go. I'm going to put this medium-sized pan on a high heat, and I'm going to get that hot, and then I'm going to add some cumin seeds. But first, I'm going to add some veg oil to the pan, about 25 grams. There we go. A little bit more. And then when that's nice and hot, I'm going to add the cumin seeds, and then I'm going to pop and sizzle. I want to get those to a nice dark brown colour on those. Let's see. Lovely. When they start popping, that's pretty much there. I'm going to now add my onion. Really great smells coming from there. Okay, so I'm adding the onion now. Chopped onion. So I'm going to cook these onions over a medium heat. I'm going to turn this down because I want the onions to caramelise, but I don't want to do it too quickly because the onions will scorch and burn. But by the same token, I don't want to do it too slowly because the onions will be very sweet, and that's not the flavour we want for this particular dish. So I've turned that down to a medium heat. I've given it a good stir in there with the cumin seeds. Using the lid is quite important on this dish because you know when you take the lid off a pan, you think that smells amazing. That is actually like flavour escaping from the pan, I believe. So what you want to do is retain all that flavour in the dish. You do that by keeping the lid on during the cooking process. Let me show you my onions now. You see they've really started to caramelise, and with the toasted cumin seeds, the smell of that is absolutely fantastic, and that will really give a good base flavour to the chana masala. So the next step, we're going to add our tomato passata. So 400 mils of tomato passata. Give that a good stir. Also at this stage, we're going to add our chopped green chilies that we prepared earlier. Also, the ginger garlic paste that we prepared, that's going to go in. And the spice mix of the ground turmeric, the chili powder, the ground cumin and the ground coriander. That's all going to go in at this stage as well. Now, I'm going to stir that all together, and what that will do is it'll really start to rehydrate those dried spices. I've got those all incorporated there, and I'm going to stick the lid back on, keep all the flavour in. Okay, that's had like 4 or 5 minutes now. I can show you that. You see our masala has really started to come together. All the ingredients started to cook together and it's become something of a nice base for our dish. So at this stage, I'm going to add the chickpeas. With my spatula here, I'm just going to stir those in. And what you can do at this point, if you feel that the masala looks a little bit too dry, you can always add a little bit more passata, or just to keep the flavours nice and neutral, you could add a little bit of water, but having the right amount of liquid in there will ensure like an even cooking process, because the liquid is like the medium that helps to cook the chickpeas. I'm just going to add the garam masala as well. It's a teaspoon of garam masala. There we go, stir all that in. Nice and incorporated. Once it's all nice and stirred in, put the lid back on and we allow the flavour of that, the base, the tomatoes and the spices, they can get into the chickpeas. There we go. So I'm just going to use some of this fresh coriander now. This is going to be used to finish the masala, the chana masala, when it's finished cooking. It's always nice actually, if you've got any fresh herbs like coriander or chives or basil, it's just to wrap them in some kitchen cloth or blue roll or kitchen roll, whatever, because this protects them in the fridge from the harshness, the cold air. Another thing that I'm going to use to garnish the chana masala at the end is some fresh spring onions. And I'm just going to take off the outer leaves, the outer skins, because they can sometimes be a little bit tough. I'm going to trim off the ends. I'm just going to cut it on an angle, as so. That'll be enough. This is almost ready to finish. Just to show you, this is the kind of consistency that we're looking for. You see? Not too dry, not too wet, nice sort of curry consistency. And we've given the chickpeas, some time to take on all that flavour of the tomatoes and the spices. So that is almost finished now. So to finish this, what I'm going to do is just, first of all, is taste the chana masala. And just a little pinch of salt, good pinch of salt there. Stir that in. You can always add, but you can never take away. I'm going to finish the masala with the chopped coriander, all in there. Very generous with that. Stir that in. I'm going to add a squeeze of lemon. The lemon really lifts the flavour. It really lifts the whole dish, and I think brings it to life. Taste once again. And now we're ready to serve. Finished chana masala. Now you can serve this with rice or anything you want really, potatoes, polenta. When I made this in the first lockdown for myself, I just had it on its own, you know. Lovely dish. There you go. And I'm just going to finish this with a little bit of coriander leaves. Again, it's all completely optional. I like citrus with my curry, so I'm going to put a few lime wedges on top. And the chopped spring onions give like a different aspect. And that's it. That's it. That is the finished dish. Thank you, Refugee Roots, and I hope you've enjoyed this cooking video today, and I hope you enjoy the dish. I hope you try it at home, and thank you to the team, thank you to Sobar, and tune in soon because we're going to do another dish, and I think another chickpea dish as well, to give a different aspect on what we can do with that ingredient. See you soon.